Test Drive with Graeme Fletcher.
On this edition of Test Drive, we take a look at the all-new Dodge Avenger. Now, the release of this vehicle and its sibling, the Chrysler Sebring, signals Chrysler's return to the sporty coupe marketplace. The Avenger comes with a choice of two different engines, a very weak 140 horse 4 or a free-revving V6 that adds a lot more grunt, but it does so in a very peculiar manner. The 2.5-litre single overhead cam 24-valve V6 produces a reasonably healthy 155 horsepower and 161 pounds-feet of torque. The trouble is, though, the peak torque is produced way up the rev range at 4,400 RPM. This means that the Avenger takes its own sweet time until the engine hits about 3,000 RPM. The mid-range performance is acceptable, however, at the high end of the rev range, the engine produces far more noise than it does power. The result is very leisurely acceleration from about 95 kilometers an hour and up. What this car needs is the Cirrus version of the engine. Then the Avenger might perform the way it should do. The cameraman lamented that if the performance equaled the looks, we could have some serious fun. I can only echo this sentiment. Matched with the V6 is a 4-speed automatic transmission that comes complete with an on-off switch for the overdrive. The shifts are smooth and well coordinated for the most part. The weak point shows up quickly if you floor the gas pedal. Under these circumstances, the box drops down one too many gears, causing the engine to quite literally scream. Finally, when the transmission does shift up into the right gear, the car starts to move along. It is this peculiar trait that accounts for much of the lackluster performance offered by the engine in the high range. The ES tested here features a fully independent suspension that includes a handling package. As well as beefing up the spring rates, this package adds a mammoth set of Goodyear Eagles. The result is more than satisfactory. The Avenger flew through the pylon test despite the damp conditions. Understeer is mild and body roll next to non-existent. The excellence displayed on the skid pad continues out on the open road. The ride is composed and compliant, delivering a degree of comfort simply not expected. Helping the overall feel of the car is a speed-sensitive power steering setup that offers just the right amount of assist. At slow speeds, you can spin the wheel with your finger. At higher speeds, the system firms up to ensure the requisite level of feedback. In short, a job very well done. The up-level ES version of the Avenger boasts a great set of brakes. There are discs at all 4 corners plus anti-lock. During the brake test, the Avenger required 112 feet to stop from 80 kilometers an hour. The pedal is easily modulated and the ABS minds its own business until absolutely necessary. Then when it does intervene, it does so very effectively. The trunk on the Avenger has been well thought through, with one exception. It's roomy, it features 60/40 split folding rear seats which can be locked in the upright position. You can override the interior remote with this little button. That means the only way into the trunk is with the key. That keeps your valuables nice and safe. So what's the exception? Well, you'd better be very careful when you load anything into the back of this vehicle. The deck lid sits at eye level and it's only too willing to take a chunk out of your forehead if you're not careful. Inside, the Avenger ES comes with a complete complement of comfort and convenience items. You'll find power locks, windows and mirrors, plus cruise control and a complete set of analog gauges that includes an oil pressure gauge. The front seats are nicely shaped, offering plenty of support and comfort. A nice feature on the driver's seat is the memory position that allows you to return the seat back to its original position after it has been tilted forward. Unlike many other coupes, the rear environment of the Avenger is actually quite spacious. There's adequate headroom and reasonable legroom. That said, like any other coupe, this thing is next to impossible to get in from the driver's side and not that much easier from the passenger side. The other thing I noticed back here, the front passengers get a very nice set of leather seats. Those relegated to the rear seats, you'll have to put up with cheap old plastic. From an ergonomic perspective, the Avenger fares reasonably well, with all the major controls falling readily to hand. The exception is the radio. It sits low down in the dash and is partially blocked from the driver by the shifter. On the safety front, the Avenger comes complete with anti-lock brakes, dual airbags and adjustable upper seatbelt anchors. Well, that's it for this edition of Test Drive. You know, the Avenger is really a very nice car. It's a great looker, it's got reasonable interior room, and you know, it handles very nicely too. The only problem is it's all show and virtually no go.